Hi. I hope your travels are going well. T. Lee 1776. I'm streaming from the car. I have not gotten into a fight with the kids or the dogs, but I think they need to have some alone time in the hotel room. So I said I'll do this one from the car. Hold on. Let me get everything started. Enjoy the intro video and let me know if everything is looking good. Disable my thing. And I have to remember, I think you can still hear me now. All right. While I figure this out and go play the intro. Enjoy, and I'll be back in a second.
The city celebrated the grand opening of a luxury high-rise building that will serve as a homeless shelter. Each unit, just a mere 600 grand. The entire building, just 165 million. The best part, it was all funded by LA taxpayers. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman with more. Christina.
Hi, Jesse. Today was the grand opening of a high-rise building in downtown LA that will offer subsidized housing to some of the people living homeless on Skid Row. The 19-story, 278-unit permanent support housing project is the largest of its kind here in Los Angeles. It includes 40 units reserved for homeless veterans. The total bill for the complex is $165 million. That breaks down to about $600,000 per unit in taxpayer funds. Mostly for studio apartments like this one, featuring basic furnishing, including a bed, table, and chairs. The LA Times reports developers wanted to create a space on Skid Row that wouldn't make the formerly homeless people feel like they were still living among squalor. So they added spaces like a gym stocked with treadmills and weights, a room for arts and music where outside groups will put on classes, and 6 communal balconies like this one that will offer a much more uplifting view than what you might see outside of a window of a shelter. Billions of dollars have been spent on public initiatives in California to deal with this state's out of control homelessness crisis. In 2016, LA voters overwhelmingly passed a proposition allowing for $1.2 billion in bonds aimed at housing homeless people. The new high rise was funded by that appropriation and state tax credits. Now, this is the first of 3 towers set to house the homeless here in LA. The second building is scheduled to open a year and a half from now. Jesse?
Christina, that homeless high-rise is nicer than my first 3 apartments.
That's crazy.
Well, that's irrelevant if it is or if it isn't. Let me just see what Charlie Kirk's tweet was in this. Yes, Charlie Kirk, whom I've now discovered is highly controversial, apparently. Still haven't figured out why, but before I even go further, is the audio is not going to be perfect. This is as good as it's going to get, at least for now. Can you hear me? Viva is live from his vehicle. He is. Newsom would F up a cup of coffee. If you can hear me, that's going to be good enough for this stream. Because I've been following some news, and we'll talk about some of it in the locals after party. Just let me know if the audio is good. Good enough for government work. Sounds good. Audio is good. Who said audio is great? Real name redacted. Very optimistic. Very positive. All right. Let me read what Charlie Kirk said here. Homeless in Los Angeles get a free apartments valued at $600,000. I wonder how much they're actually worth versus how much they cost, but it doesn't matter. It's the principle as to what's going on here that's the biggest issue. All taxpayer expense. Gazans get $230 million per. That doesn't work. I think that's sank. And $9 billion in aid, even though we know much of that will be used to fund terror. Newly arrived illegals get debit cards with cash, free housing in hotels, flights to anywhere, and free legal advice to game or asylum laws. Ukrainians get their pension paid for and $170 billion in aid and munitions. Everywhere Americans look, deadbeats, foreigners, and criminals are gaming the system, breaking the rules, and ripping off the taxpayer, while those same taxpayers can't afford eggs, gas, or rent. America and its citizens must be put first, or eventually people will just opt out of the entire system. And that's Charlie Kirk. Let me see if I break this out here. And I appreciate, some people were replying to Charlie Kirk saying, you left Israel out of there. So people call Charlie Kirk a Zionist or a pro-Zionist, pro-Israel, whatever. And he, I think he is. I don't think he would doubt that or deny that. And I can understand it's legit criticism. Some people are saying, you left out how much billions was it that was going to Israel? I think 15 billion to go to Israel, with a couple of billion to humanitarian aid as a result of what is the consequence from what's being done with the arms that are being financed through American military aid. I can understand people holding that against Charlie Kirk. So put a little parentheses on him not mentioning aid to Israel. The rest of it stands true, and boy, howdy is it true. It's an absolute outrage. driving across America now. I'm driving literally from Florida. We are now, we went through today, Florida, Georgia, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and I think we're in Virginia. I'm not sure. It's flipping wild. We drove a lot. My butt hurts, but I'm driving across America and I'm seeing people, and I'm seeing, like, A, the consequences of these disastrous policies, and B, the people who are absolutely placed last. If it's not second, third, or fourth, it's virtually last in the hierarchy of where American taxpayer dollars are going, and it's atrocious. And now the issue, I played a clip last week, right? It was somebody saying that, you know, the issue about homelessness is not enough homes. It has nothing to do with drug addiction, which might be the problem of an unsecured border and fentanyl pouring through. It has nothing to do with mental illness, which might have something to do with shutting down institutions. I know people are saying, you know, make institutions great again. No, it's because there's a lack of housing, which is the most insanely idiotic thing I have ever heard. Anybody who's ever known anyone who has become homeless, see, if it's not all the time, it's the vast majority of time, it's mental illness or drugs and a family network that can't deal with it, or an absence of a family network. And they end up on the streets because they cannot maintain a job. The addiction takes over. The mental illness makes it impossible for them to maintain a job or maintain housing. And they don't want to be confined to certain locations like the hotels that they were offering in California. And they end up in Skid Row, where you have a homeless population, however many tens of thousands. And to then see taxpayer dollars, there are veterans committing suicide at record rates, fentanyl overdoses, record rates, homelessness, mental illness, inflation, people can't pay for their own stuff, and then they're financing entire countries, entire military regimes. I say, like, I think I know Charlie Kirk. I don't think he says things I don't agree with. I don't think he's a bad man. He's 1,000% right on that. Maybe 99% right, because I could understand how people should say include aid to Israel, because foreign aid is foreign aid, and it's not because you like the ally to which it's going that it ceases being foreign aid, placing another country ahead of its own citizens. Booyah, people. What's the good word? So, as you all know, I'm on the road. Oh, God. I'm on the road. And, oh, get Charlie Kirk on your radio show so you can understand him instead of labeling him. Michaela Lasaka, can I highlight this? This is like sometimes the internet. Get Charlie Kirk on your radio show so you can understand him instead of labeling him. I hope you're not talking to me, because if you are, you're having a conversation with yourself, imputing things to me that I actually never said about Charlie Kirk. It was the joke that Charlie Kirk is called a racist and misogynist, you know, for saying that women in their 30s are not prime dating material. Anybody who's ever had kids knows that as of 33, 35, any pregnancy is a mid to high risk pregnancy. So I've never labeled Charlie Kirk, because I don't really do that. I'll label Eric Fart Swalwell, although I never made fun of the fart, but I'll label Eric Swalwell the Chinese spy banger. I will label Jagmeet Singh the worst human on the face of the planet. I will label Justin Trudeau the most evil person in the history of Canada. But I haven't labeled him. Let me see here. Viva, bring back the Nats. Hells to the bells. No, I'm not bringing back Nats. I mean, I'm sure there's animals living in this car at this point in time. Oh, we have 2 dogs. Thus far, there has not been a poo-poo or a pee-pee in the car. But thus far, one kid seems to not be able to eat a meal in the car without spilling something. And we're going to have some thorough detailing, cleansing of this car when we get back to do. So that's it. So y'all know I'm heading back to the Iron Rainbow for a little bit of time, you know, see family, attend an event, a Rebel News event on journalism in Toronto. So that should be very interesting. We're going to talk about Rebel News tonight. But before we even do that, actually, I'm using Rumble Studio again, so my fat fingers are gonna have to get used to this. I had to make sure that on YouTube, I checked the box that said this stream contains a paid promotion, because it does. And I don't want to run the promotion without that box being checked off, and then I don't know what people can try to do to me, get me in trouble with you. He ran an ad that did say this contains a paid promotion. I feel exploited and ripped off, yada, yada. We got a sponsor for tonight's show, people. And we're going to talk about SCOTUS delaying the immunity case. They haven't rendered that. I've been waiting for that, like a giddy schoolgirl waiting for SCOTUS to rule on immunity. What the hell have I become? I guess an intelligent podcaster. SCOTUS has not ruled on immunity yet, so I guess that one comes out next week. Donald Trump is going after New York Nipple Judge Engoron with some late-breaking news about somebody who apparently was having some ex parte communications with New York Nipple Judge Engoron. You know, young thug, the judge, has ex parte communications with witnesses. In Nipple Judge Engoron, the case, they are having ex parte communications with Trump haters who are trying to make sure the judge gets it right when issuing a $500 million fine penalty against Trump that he's seeking a recusal. And we're going to talk about, that sounded really Canadian. We're going to talk about Ezra Levant really making some waves up in Canada. It's very, very, very cool. But hold on. The sponsor of tonight's show is, get this out there. I don't need the consultation yet. Tax Network USA, Inc. If you owe back taxes, people, by the way, if they can't get you on sex, if they can't get you on, blackmail and all the other stuff, one thing that the government can pretty much get anybody on: taxes. So bloody complicated. The tax code is however many thousands of pages. You know, they couldn't get that gangster there on anything. They got him on taxes. You know, you don't declare selling a used bike for over $600 and you didn't declare it, they'll get you on taxes. They got Trump on taxes, even though there was actually no tax fraud. Remember that whole in New York, one of the 3 underlying felonies of his felony 34 charge indictment, tax fraud. But he doesn't actually have to have had paid any less in taxes for the tax fraud. Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over, along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers. The IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or balances owed. Don't waive your rights and speak with them on your own. They are not your friends, by the way. They're like the police. Don't talk to them if you don't have to. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you, whether it's business or personal taxes, even if you have the means. Even if you have the means to pay or you are on a fixed income, they can help finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Call 1-800-245-6000 for a private free consultation, or visit tnusa.com/Viva. Tango, November, Uniform, Sierra Alpha.com/Viva. 1-800-245-6000 or tnusa.com/Viva. Thank you very much, sponsor. And now I'm going to, how do I get this out of here? I go like this, bada bing, bada boom, and stop screen share. All right, people, we're going to, just paying $1,800 for taxes last week. It was fun. Lou Maldonado, just paying, I pay taxes in the States now, and I want to know what percentage of it, even, if it were going for providing housing for the homeless, I wouldn't have a problem with that to the extent it's being logically done. This is all a corrupt scheme. However much they paid for those units, I bet you they didn't cost that much, like paying $3,800 for a toilet seat at the Pentagon. It's taxpayer money laundering. And you go to California, where Gavin Newsom, however many years ago, said 10 years to resolve the housing crisis. And California is a zombie apocalypse of homeless, mentally ill drug addicts who are, this is not judgmental. This is just purely observational, who have infiltrated the streets, hundreds of, I think it's 100,000. What's the homeless population of Los Angeles? Hold on a second. Homeless population, Los Angeles. I think it's 90,000. For example, in 2023 count, calculated approximately 75,500 homeless in LA counting, including 32,000 chronically homeless, 6,200 children, 4,700 seniors, and 3,900 veterans. 75,500 in LA County. That's according to the Los Angeles Daily News. I've not only paid my taxes in the States, now you got to start paying your quarterly installments because the government doesn't want you falling behind. They take it out. So it's the season of SCOTUS, man. It's June. I think they've got to have their rulings in by, it's next week. Oh my goodness, they're really waiting. They're bringing it down to the wire. SCOTUS has not yet issued its ruling on the immunity case or on the Chevron doctrine case. The case that they issued a ruling on this week, I'm not going to get into it in thorough detail now. Barnes and I will talk about it Sunday. But it's the lady out in Nevada who was maliciously prosecuted for allegedly taking official documents when she prepared a petition to recall a member of city council or local government, and she filed the petition during a meeting, and then accidentally put the papers in her binder and took it home with her, or didn't even take it home with her, but she put it in her briefcase and took it home. And she was prosecuted for like a felony for destruction or removal of official documents. And SCOTUS came down and said, no, that's malicious prosecution. That's selective prosecution, over the top, insane political retribution, because the petition was to sanction people for not doing their jobs properly. I think the SCOTUS coming down and saying that that was selective prosecution, malicious prosecution, is an indication as to what's going to go down on the immunity case and the Chevron deference case, which has the liberals crapping in their pants. Who was it that was just talking about what happens if Chevron is overturned, if the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade in the Dobbs decision and now overturns Chevron? Well, what's going to happen to the administrative state? It's going to take a kick in the ass, and a kick in the ass that it wholeheartedly deserves. And so that's what's going on. We're waiting on that. We're waiting on the immunity case, which is the scope and extent of Trump's immunity, if any. Barnes has been talking about it during Bourbon with Barnes's on vivabarneslaw.locals.com, and we're waiting with bated breath. They have yet to issue the ruling. The amazing thing is this. I'm Googling it yesterday, like, has it come out yet? No, it hasn't come out yet. And I see an article. I'm just looking to see in the parking lot if anyone thinks I'm like a dirty perv up to no good with my computer in my car. I'm looking at Googling to see, like, oh, has the immunity decision come out yet? And I come across an article, and a law scholar, a legal expert, is lamenting the fact that SCOTUS has not yet issued the ruling, saying it's they're unnecessarily, unduly delaying the ruling. And from the header, I'm like, oh, is that Jonathan Turley who's writing that, or whose opinion that is? Because as far as I'm concerned, delaying the immunity ruling is allowing a lot of damage to be done in these RICO cases, in the Alvin Bragg case out of New York, in these prosecutions of Trump, which might be remedied, if not, all but put to an end, depending on the scope and extent of the immunity ruling. So I thought it was a criticism that SCOTUS is dragging its feet in terms of rendering the immunity decision while letting potentially irreparable damage be done in terms of the ongoing prosecution of Trump. Then I go to read the article, and they're complaining and saying that the SCOTUS delaying the immunity ruling effectively makes it impossible for Trump to get convicted before the election 2024. So I'm like, oh, this isn't a scholar. This isn't a legal mind of Jonathan Turley. This is a political hack, a law fraud on the internet. Who's it going to be? I mean, it could only be one. It could only have been one of two names, and I can't really. Oh, it could have only been Mark Elias or Lawrence Tribe. And the article, sure enough, was Lawrence Tribe complaining that SCOTUS is dragging its feet, rendering this immunity decision, which is going to make it virtually impossible to finish the prosecution of Trump before the 2024 election. This idiot, who doesn't appreciate or conveniently ignores, or confession through projection is telling you exactly what they're doing by bringing in all of these prosecutions in 2024, SCOTUS hasn't issued their ruling fast enough. They didn't bypass the DC Court of Appeal. They pushed it back and made DC render their decision before they rendered their ruling. They're the ones who are making it impossible to get a trial before 2024, coming from the side that waited until 2024 in the Alvin Bragg case for facts that occurred in 2016, 2017, in the E. Jean Carroll case for facts that never occurred. They never occurred. But if they did occur in the mind of that batshit crazy lady 25 years ago. The RICO case, well, that one they waited about a year and a half before filing that. They dragged their legs, their feet. They corruptly abuse of the timing of the prosecutions to bring a slew of these bullshit prosecutions in 2024, and then they accuse the Supreme Court of dragging their feet by not issuing a judgment on the immunity, such that they can get another conviction before 2024. Hypocrites, confessors through projectors. Let's see this. Hold on a second. It really is unbelievable. Your car with that switch sticker. Your car with that sweet sticker. Hold on, what sticker? Oh, well, and oh yes, Mrs. LaRue. Hold on, check this out. Watch this. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Ah, yes. Internet. What sticker might you be talking about? This one. Oh, if you can't see it too good, here, let me bring it in there, Bill. FJB edition. It's so good, Mrs. LaRue. People think it's like a professional, well, it's a professionally done car. But that's very funny. Oh, man, oh, man. Mrs. LaRue, thank you very much for that $5 Rumble rant. So, SCOTUS hasn't issued their ruling yet. I mean, it's not going to be as robust as I would like it and as Barnes thinks it ought to be, you know. There is no indictment. There is no prosecution of a president who has not been impeached and convicted by the Senate. Period. Full stop. That ends all of this bullshit. We'll see. And by the way, stickers. You know, I've been driving around. Is Viva wearing his wife's headband again? Wife? You crazy? It's my daughter's. I got these stickers. Now I carry them around in my pocket to give them to anybody that I see. So that's what the legal minds there, the Lawrence Tribe, who is so right about his novel theory to remove Trump from the ballot based on the self-executing Article 3 section, or Section 14, or Article 14, Section 3. You know, a Lawrence Tribe, that legal mind who has been poisoned, taken over by the TDS parasite, is blaming SCOTUS for taking their time to the corrupt benefit of Trump, where I would say, if anything, SCOTUS, it's not to the benefit of anybody, it's to the detriment of the legal system, has taken too much time intervening in the outrageous lawfare that we are witnessing happening. When does the session end for SCOTUS? Says Jane Cavender. I think it ends next. I think it ends this month. It ends at the end of June. So they're coming next week. They're set. I think, from what I understand, they're setting up barricades in D.C. So they're expecting something of a response from whatever rulings they have left to issue. So that's the immunity case. Hasn't come out yet. A couple of good cases. Well, there was one on the upholding the ban on Second Amendment rights for people who have a restraining order based on domestic violence. I think who have a restraining order based on domestic violence. So they've upheld that. They've upheld that infringement of the Second Amendment. We'll talk about that Sunday as well. I just hope the internet back in commie Canada is going to be good. I mean, at least I'm at a hotel here and the internet is good in the parking lot. But yeah, so that's that. What was I going to say? Oh, the lawfare. So speaking of the lawfare, you know, speaking of immunity ruling that could have had an impact on, it wouldn't have had an impact on the New York Nipple Judge Engoron's outrageous. What's that noise? You don't have to turn the car off. Hold on a second. If it gets too hot, I'll sweat like a pig. The immunity ruling wouldn't have had an impact on the New York fraud case, the Leticia James fraud case, because that doesn't involve, as far as I know, any acts that would have been considered presidential, or at least relating to presidential acts for presidential immunity. That was just a horse crap lawfare, politicized prosecution of Donald Trump. If you want to talk about selective prosecution and weaponized lawfare, that is the best example. Won't go over it. You all know it. You got Leticia James, who I believe somehow is Soros funded. I think Leticia James, who campaigned off of prosecuting Trump. If we want to talk about selective prosecution, malicious prosecution, she campaigned off prosecuting Trump. I put out a 5-minute montage of all of her, highlights, and then prosecutes Trump. When she was running for office, I'll try to repost it, but you all know this. When she was running for office, she was hypothesizing that Trump was involved in international money laundering. And to paraphrase, but to pretty much quote it, because domestic banks won't lend to him. That's what she thought. And when she didn't find any international money laundering, because domestic banks were lending to him, and happily so, she then shifted her "find me the man, I'll show you the crime" Lavrenta Baria filthy communist perspective to, well, then he must have done some bank fraud. And then she alleged that he overvalued his assets to procure preferential loan interest rates on his loans from banks, that he overvalued his property for the purposes of insurance, none of which makes any sense, because if you overvalue your property for the purposes of insurance and don't make a claim, all you've done is pay a higher premium for insurance coverage, and there's no fraud unless you make a claim that is over the value of the property being insured. So bullshit, 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 all of it. She gets that. It was a judgment that a summary judgment, another one of those things from New York Nipple Judge Engeron. No jury because of some, it's from a disgorgement equity remedy under the law, and it's not subject to a jury finding, so the judge got to issue his summary finding on his own, and then issued a penalty, a disgorgement of $454 million, $390 in damages penalty, and then, like, I don't know, there was the $80 million in interest. Trump is accruing $117,000 in interest on that judgment every day of the week. New York Nipple Judge Engeron is corrupt as the day is long, and it's the summer solstice, so he is very, very corrupt. In fact, he's as corrupt as he's going to get. He did that video. No, there was a video of him giving a speech in front of journalists talking about how he has all the tools he needs to come to the decisions he wants, et cetera, et cetera, yada. He had that academic, what's it called? Alumni webpage that he was hosting, where he was posting links to all of his negative rulings against Eric Trump. He posted a topless shirt of himself, said bonus torso pic, and he's got a scrawny, shriveled up like George Burns. Not George Burns, Mr. Burns. Yeah, it's George Burns. Montgomery Burns, not George Burns. Montgomery Burns type body. He's a healthy old man. I guess he wants to show off to his teens who are following him on the alumni page, whatever. So we've now discovered that he's corrupt beyond that. An article came out a little while back. CBS or NBC was interviewing this guy named Adam Bailey, who's a real estate New York lawyer, a lawyer out of New York. And it's the fact that it's so corrupt. They're not only not ashamed of their corruption, they're proud of it, and they don't even see it as corruption. This New York real estate lawyer is giving an interview with CBS the day that Engeron issued his ruling against Trump, bragging, just openly bragging about how he met with Trump and got the, wanted to make sure he met with the judge. He saw the judge at court a few weeks before the judge issued his ruling, and he wanted to make sure that the judge got the ruling right. So he told his client, I'll be right back. I got to go talk to the judge. And he goes and talks to the judge, and he proudly says, yeah, I wanted to make sure the judge got the ruling right. He says this in an interview. This obviously hits the ears of the right people, and now Trump has made a new motion for recusal of a New York Nipple Judge Engeron on the basis that the judge engaged in unlawful ex parte meetings with people to consult with to discuss the file, which is not allowed. I mean, there's an exception that you're allowed meeting with a disinterested expert. If you need to make sure you understand an aspect of science. You can't meet with an expert of the party without the other parties being notified, without it being disclosed. You can't meet with anybody. It's like he can't start picking the brain of people to see how he should issue his ruling without other people knowing about this. And so this lawyer, Adam Bailey, New York real estate lawyer, who has sued Trump on 7 occasions, who's vitriolically anti-Trump, sees the judge in court. Why New York Nipple Judge Engeron is meandering through the court, your guess is as good as mine. At least in the Montreal courthouse, the judges had their own stairwell. They had their own elevators. Because no, they didn't have their own elevators, but they had their own stairwell and their own corridors behind a locked door, because you're not supposed to run into judges at court. Why the judge would be meandering the courthouse, who knows? He talks with this guy, and the guy says, quoting, I just wanted to make sure the judge got it right. I wanted to make sure Engeron got the decision right, and apparently consulted with the judge. The judge issues a statement basically saying, no, I didn't meet with this guy, and he didn't have any persuasive impact on me anyhow. So it's a sucking and blowing, as we call it, sucky blowy statement, which actually asserts a fact that is contradicted by the second half of it. Bottom line, they've made another motion for recusal of New York Nipple Judge Engeron on the basis that he violated ethics, rules, standards, and apparently the judge is being investigated for this potentially unlawful meeting to the extent that it ever occurred. All right. Is it not amazing that the people who are going after Trump for corruption are themselves corrupt and unethical? You have the young thug. In the young thug case, it's not the judge who's part of the RICO case, but Fannie Willis's prosecution, meeting with that judge, with the witness and their lawyer, ex parte, to all but coerce testimony from that witness. That's the Fannie Willis prosecution. In this case, now you have the judge, he wants to make sure he gets it right, and talking with other people who are not involved in the case without disclosing this to the other parties. And Trump has now made another motion for recusal. We'll see where it goes. The nipple judge, John Schmidt, he's the one who took that awful, disgusting picture of his filthy torso and posted it with his hashtag bonus torso photo to his alumni page. I'll just tell my kids something here. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. So that's what's going on there. Oh, I can't bring up a meme here. It says, Dad, I think Mom is disturbed. Let me see. I can't read that. It says, oh gosh, she's down with the sickness, huh? Ooh, wah, ha, ha. I have no idea what that meme means. Oh, is someone calling me a name? I don't care. So that's what's going on with New York Nipple Judge Angron. We'll see where it goes. It's just corruption to the core. That this lawyer meets with the judge in the courthouse, wants to make sure the judge gets it right. This is a few weeks before the ruling. The day of the ruling, this guy doesn't even see anything wrong with openly saying in an ABC or an NBC or a CBS, one of the three-letter agency Mockingbird outlets, doesn't see anything wrong with saying, yeah, I met with the judge and I gave him some guidance on how to rule. And then lo and behold, today he came down with the ruling, $500 million for a victimless crime where everyone was happy with the business transaction except corrupt Leticia James. All right. So that is that. And maybe I'll do a quicker vlog with references to the article afterwards, but that's the update with that. Now, bringing this a little bit back to Canada. Oh, no, hold on. You know what I'm going to do? Let me see something here. Let's see if this works again. Yes, interesting. I'm using Rumble Studio, which has the rack, which is revolutionary, people. And right now I can go to open campaigns and I can see who's offering what by way of open campaign and decide if I want to do a spontaneous ad during the stream. Pick a time when there's the most viewers watching possible because it's a cents per view and run an ad. Rack is amazing. Rack is revolutionary. Before we get there, let me see what else I had in the backdrop because we got a couple of stories. I wanted to start with this. We'll just have to play it now. Let's listen to Jagmeet Singh. Listen to the Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the New Democrat Party, the biggest outrageous hypocrite in the history of the world. Listen to this.
At a time when 1 out of 4 Canadians are living in...
Hold on, here we go. Let's play from the beginning.
In this last week of Parliament, the Prime Minister showed us whose side he's really on. At a time when 1 out of 4 Canadians are living in poverty, the out-of-touch Liberals voted against stronger penalties for corporations that are ripping off Canadians, against banning mergers that hurt people. Why is this Prime Minister letting corporations rip off Canadians when 1 out of 4 are living in poverty? In this last week of Parliament, the Prime Minister showed us whose side he's really on.
I hate the way Jagmeet Singh speaks. It's like he's got this lazy slur in his speech. He showed us whose side he's really on. He's
At a time when 1 out of 4 Canadians are living in poverty, the out-of-touch Liberals voted against stronger penalties for corporations that are...
Screw this guy. This is the guy. He sits here railing against Justin Trudeau. The only reason a non-confidence vote hasn't been called is because of his support for Justin Trudeau. He laments the fact that 1 in 4 Canadians is suffering food insecurity, while the man that he's supporting just spent, what was it, $250,000 on food for his travels where he was going to, I forget where he was going. Jagmeet Singh. What I love, though, I love it when I have a swear word, when I include a swear word, because I do not censor the swear words on Twitter to make the tweet more accessible. I love it when I have a swear word and the tweet still goes quasi-viral. And there was another good one, actually. Hold on. This is okay, let me bring this one up. What? Oh, he blocked me? He blocked me? Oh, son of a biatch. Well, I mean, I guess I deserved it. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna show. Add it to the list, people. I've been blocked by intelligence. Hold on. Stop screen here. That guy put out a video. I need to get the original video because it was so funny. Are you the guy Oh, it's on a. Well, anyways, that's the guy who I can't get the tweet anymore. Now, General May M. Hayden put out a tweet that basically said, "Shame on Trump." Oh, for goodness sake! Now I can't see the original tweet. Hold on. You know what I can do? I can do this. Let me just get the tweet. He put out a tweet that said, "Shame on Trump." For what was it exactly that he was trying to shame Trump? I'm going to my alternate account so I can see. He's not able to do that. General M. Hayden. Okay. Hold on. Let me scroll down. I don't know how often this guy tweets. What's the date? 2019. Oh, you should be ashamed. That's right. He says you should be ashamed to Wisconsin law enforcement. Here it is. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Sorry, this is getting a little haywire here. Let me see. It was in the other window. Here we go. Oh, no, I got to go to the... Okay, forget it. He said you should be ashamed to the police force that stood and saluted Trump as he landed, I think, in whatever state. You should be ashamed. And I said to him, aren't you the fucking liar? Because I'm thinking that General M. Hayden worked with CIA. The name sounded familiar. And then there was that page. Remember when they had that beautiful... when they had that beautiful picture of the spies who lie, I'm like, wait, I know that guy. Michael Hayden right there. He was one of the 51 intelligence agencies who lied and interfered with an election. He was one of them. And I asked him, are you the fucking liar circled in red in this picture? Asking for a friend. Well, it was him. And I guess I'm in trouble, people. And the tweet still went quasi-viral with 2.8 thousand. I love it. Because I'm not putting the little asterisks when you say murder and you know put like a little. I'm not censoring with that level of triviality. If I want to be a good boy and have my father not be mad at me, say, David, why are you swearing on Twitter? Then I'll put in friggin' or I'll put in effing. But when I want to have the poignant impact, are you that fucking liar who interfered with an election, lied to the American people, and concealed for a criminal crack addict and his criminal father? Are you that liar? Oh, yes. Yes, you are, it would seem. Oh, I'm starting to schwitz in here, people. Why is it closed captioning unavailable? I'm working, lurking, and want to know what you're saying, Viva. The caption should be on. Cool that you sussed that out, says Viva Bunny. So that was one tweet that went, that still had it had a good, I swear, that's it, I'm done. If that's my vice, if that's my sin, I will accept the fact that I'm obviously not perfect. And if that's the extent of my evil, yeah, I'm going to swear when they deserve it. You got to cuss. Sometimes you need to cuss the people that need cussing. Oh, yeah, there you go. You should be ashamed. Wisconsin law enforcement lining up. Oh, I can post it here. Look at this. Yeah, check this out, boys. Oh, okay. You don't see the image. It says Wisconsin law enforcement lining up to shake hands with a convicted felon. Oh, they got the convicted felon. These MFers. Oh, Lordy. So that's that. They all maintained their security clearances, said Tina 3040. Yep. Rules for thee, but not for me. Now, look what I'm going to do, people. We're going to do this. I'm going to go back to the campaigns, and I'm going to see, oh, look at this one. Oh, this is cool. All right, people. We're going to try rack again. And I'm going to do it. And do it. Accept and start. This is... Oh, okay, fine. Hold on, what happened? Tell me I didn't just get kicked out of the stream. Campaigns. Hold on, live chat. I love your rants. Okay, hold on a second. What's going on here? I'm still in here, right, people? Hold on. No, get out of here. How do I get the pin comment down? Okay, so I'm learning. I gotta get my fat fingers to do this here. Ooh. All right, let's do this. Okay. Well, we might not be doing it today. Hold on a second. What's going on here? Okay, I'm tinkering. We're going to go all the way down here. Let's just do this. Hold on. Let me see how this works. What's wrong with it? Here we go. Let's try this. Okay, I might be having a bit of a glitch here. Ah, yes. You see, this is perfect. And the segue, it was going to be a smoother segue if I could have done the smoother segue, people. Now we see this here. You see Truth Social, people. Big tech is suppressing free speech everywhere, and it's clear their censorship campaign is going to get even worse. Without free speech, we don't have a free society. That's why you need to dump the big tech bosses and join the Truth Social movement now. I'm on Truth Social, but I don't use it anywhere near as often as I should. At Truth Social, you can get all your news and opinions, set up or join groups based on your hobbies or interests, and make yourself heard on any issue without being squelched by big tech censors. Join the network that is leading the platform for direct, unfiltered access to Donald Trump's social media posts. If you want instant access to all of Trump's announcements, plans, and reactions to the biggest issues of the day, Truth Social is your social media platform. Check it out. Break free of big tech suppression, strike a blow against cancel culture, and reclaim your rights on America's premier free speech social media platform. Join Truth Social today. And I'm on it. I'm Viva Fry on it. And I got the app because at one point I couldn't get the app in Canada because I had a Canadian iOS. And check it out. I'm gotta get. But there's me. I'm Viva Fry on Truth, and that is it. The link is there. The barcode, that little QR code thing, so you can just scan it. Join Truth. How many people are not on Truth, by the way? Who's watching right now? I think everybody's already on Truth. But anybody watching this on YouTube, join the Truth. That is it. Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you for being here. Now let me go to live chat, donations. All the donations seem to be here. Oh, this is good. Okay, this is good. Everything's working out now. Look at this pin. Biltong, good afternoon from Anton's free shipping for your biltong. I passed by a place called Roanoke today, Anton. Biltong USA, code VIVA for Biltong USA and Anton USA. We have bison, elk, kangaroo, venison game in stock. Check before you sell it, dude. Oh, I don't have the hold on. I do have it. It's right here. Anton. I threw it out. As I was driving today, people, it kept me up. Wagyu Ghost. I ate the entire bag. We'll see. We'll see. It was spicy, but perfect level of spice. This is the Anton's Wagyu Ghost. Spicy biltong. It's delicious. I ate it, and it kept me awake during the day. If I go to DTQC, check this out. Pin. Hey, Viva. Wish we can cross paths in Quebec. Hey, Viva, wish that we cross in Quebec City or near Sherbrooke. We'll see. I'm just hoping that I don't end up in a Canadian gulag. DTQC. Also, we'll see where I am. I'm going to Toronto at one point. But does your hair get super frizzy in Florida? Yes. And if I go 3 days without brushing it, it gets all knotted. And then when I brush it, I tear out hair and I think I'm going to go bald, but I don't really care about that. I should not be superficially attached to my hair, period. Does your hair... Oh, so that's not the one. We got that. Pin. Viva, the Trudeau government is trying to distract from the names being exposed. We'll get to that because, I mean, I think you might be talking about the next story, which is what they're trying to do to Ezra Levant. So check this out. Let's bring this one out here. This is what unpin. Ezra Levant has really made the news here. I want to play the video without commentary. I think this is it. No, that's not the right one. Hold on. Cancel. I'll play you the video so you can see what it looks like, and then we'll talk about it. Attorney General. Here we go. This is it. Okay. Let's see if I can do this here. This is the video. People are saying, whose bus is this? We must find this. This was an ad truck that was running around Toronto, I think. And for those of you who are listening in podcast, it says, is this Yemen? Is this Syria? Is this Iraq? And it's showing a video of people praying in the streets. Muslim people praying in the street. It says, no, this is Canada, and this is the effect. This is the part I think is going to get everybody who wants to feign outrage is going to say, wake up, Canada, you are under siege. And the truck goes off. Now, the headline to that was from an outlet called 6 Buzz TV. Rebel News owns the truck with Islamophobic. You see, this person puts a little asterisk. Rebel News owns the truck with Islamophobic message spotted in downtown Toronto. So people were posting it saying, whose is this? And then Ezra posted a tweet. Oh, someone offered a $25,000 reward bounty. I don't know what they meant by that. For information on whoever owns that truck. And then Ezra replied to that tweet and said, I own it. I'll take your $25,000, and had some other choice words. Then the media goes ape crap on the fact that Ezra Levant, Rebel News, rented out this truck for an Islamophobic message. Now, Kat Canada, and if you don't follow her, you should. She's a wonderful person. I met her in person at the Rumble Free Speech event. She put out a tweet that said this. How do I get the full screen? Can I get the full screen here? She put out a tweet saying, "Wake up, Canada." And there's a picture of Ezra Levant's truck. It says being investigated because the government now wants to investigate it for a hate crime. And underneath, there's a bus that says Zionism equals terrorism. And it says not being investigated. And I retweeted that and I said, is that true, Toronto police? Are you investigating the one that says Zionism, or the one that says wake up, Canada, and not the one that says Zionism is terrorism? And by the way, just so you know that I don't have a double standard here, both trucks should be allowed. You may agree or disagree with the message. You might think it's hurtful, whatever. Both trucks should be allowed. Or if you want to be consistent and be a little sissy and words hurt and whatever, neither truck should be allowed. Both should be investigated. But one thing is sure as sugar. One cannot be investigated and one cannot be investigated. And if it was the other way around and they were investigating the anti-Semitic Zionism equals terrorism, I would say that's selective. And, you know, you can't suck and blow. One cannot be okay and the other one not okay. So you either prosecute both or you prosecute neither. And you just grit your teeth and tolerate both as you would in a free and democratic society, which Canada no longer seems to be. Ezra Levant, they're talking about investigating him, and they're going to. I mean, he's gonna run into it for this. And the question is, what level of hypocrisy is this? And the other question is, are they distracting from something, or are they distracting from the actual message of the board? Now that they've been sufficiently humiliated. I mean, the amazing thing is this: whether you agree with Ezra or not, you appreciate the Streisand effect unless you're a capital L liberal, a capital D Democrat, or a capital P progressive, in which case you're an idiot and you don't learn from the Streisand effect. Making such a big deal of that billboard bus is now amplifying the message on that bus to people who might not have seen it before. And you might wake up in Canada with more people agreeing with the message than disagreeing with the message. I mean, first of all, disagree with it. It's terrible, it's mean, it's xenophobic, and shame on Ezra. All right, you still have a freedom of speech or you don't. And if that is prohibited under the Online Harms Act, that's not the online, on the security, the Code de la Sécurité Routière, what is that, for goodness sake? The Road Safety Act, whatever, the Highway Safety Act. I'm joking. If that is forbidden under Bill C-16, and that's hate crime, and that's hate speech, and that's intolerance that is sanctionable under the law, so is Zionism equals terrorism, period. And now you want to mince your words and say, oh, well, we're not talking about Jews, we're talking about Zionists. We're not talking about Israel, we're talking about Zionists. Or horse crap. So either both are bad or both have to be tolerated, but not the case that one gets prosecuted and one doesn't. So, but by making that big of a deal about it, they have blown this story up in ways that it would have never blown up, but for their zealous desire to shut people up, shut people down, and silence ideological adversaries. But it's going to cause a problem one way or the other. I mean, as Ezra has got, he's a very provocative person, and if you like him, you're happy with that, and if you hate him, you're not happy with that. But he's going to make a big point. I think this will go places because, holy crab apples, when they're investigating skid marks on pride flags at intersections, you're damn right they're going to investigate this because they've got a demographic to pacify, and they've got a demographic to pander to. Seems like no, the days of pandering. Well, maybe there's still some pandering to the Jewish vote in Canada, but you know, there might be different politics at play as relates to the two different groups who are now involved in something of a domestic ideological conflict. What did the police say? As far as I know, let me just see here. They're investigating it. Police investigating Ezra Levant, and he's covered it. Rebel News owns the van. Yep, Rebel News claims ownership of ad. Okay, we've seen that. Truck with well, everybody now they've got it. Anyway, so it doesn't look like it doesn't look like there's any news, but I'll be following up with that. Maybe I'll get Ezra on my channel, or I'll come on his and we'll talk about it more in person. Anyway, we'll talk about it in person when I go down to Toronto for the event. But I can understand that people don't like the message. I can even understand that people think it should be illegal. To them, I would say, grow the hell up. I mean, are we past the point now you can't burn a flag anymore, or you can only burn certain flags? Are we past the point now you can only burn churches, but you can't have mean messaging on buses unless it's targeting Zionists, but definitely not the Jews. But we have a multi-tiered hierarchy of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Oh, yes, it is. VB, Islam isn't Judaism. Okay. I'm not reading any of that. Now, let me make sure. I want to go to the donations and make sure that I'm not missing anything. David, brush your hair with a comb. I'm getting hair advice. Hold on. Denise M. David, brush your hair with a comb from the bottom sections. I'm very lazy. I'm very lazy and very plus I figure if I break the tips, it'll grow back faster. It will eliminate ripping out of your hair. Also, it's better to do it when wet. Oh yeah, dude. I slab on like conditioner, handfuls, and then brush it out. Brush it out. Let me see here what we got here. Pin. This election is not about the man Trump, Biden, or anyone. It is about sovereignty. We will have a country of our own. Will we have a country of our own in November? Do not let them steal the narrative. Trump 2024 or tyranny. Polymander, I agree with you. And I don't ever tell people who to vote for, even when I'm running for office and trying to get their vote. If they don't want to vote for me, enjoy Trudeau. Enjoy Mark Garneau. You got him. But this is a matter of principle. Even if you don't like Trump and you do not vote for him, you are empowering the weaponization of the judicial system. You are empowering you are enabling the process that makes it a selection and not an election. If you do not protest this lawfare, you are complicit in sanctioning it, tolerating it. And it's not a question of silence is violence type, rubbish. It's a question of it is a protest vote for Trump to stand against a regime that thinks it gets to dictate who you get to vote for. They tried to take him off the ballot, and they're not done with that yet. I'm sure they're going to have some underhanded effort to try that again. They tried to take your candidate or a candidate off the ballot. I got to tell you something. If I hated the candidate, I would defend him or her. And there's women in politics. I'm joking. I would defend him or her and probably have a protest vote in favor of him or her, because I will not let people usurp my freedom in the name of what they think is their democracy. I won't allow them to. And so if you might hate Trump. You might think he's a boorish, crass pig. Oh, he's had affairs and he's married. He's been divorced and married and what? Alrighty. You don't vote for Trump and you abstain. You empower the deep state to make selections and not elections. You vote for Biden, you are proactively enabling corruption. Jack Black, I won't say you're dead to me yet because I still like some of your music and you made me laugh, so I can't ever forget that. But you cut me deep, Shrek. So that's it. Now, what else did we have in the backdrop here? This was Ezra Levant saying John Tory wants me prosecuted for a crime because he disagrees with ads that we run on a billboard truck. That's not the Canadian way. Even if his friend group all agrees with him, it's still not how we do things in Canada. Publisher of Rebel News, Ezra Levant, called in the morning show after. How long is this?
Surprised that you are having. Let's see what you've just been talking about is criminalizing people with different opinions. That billboard truck and the ad that's been running on it is a different opinion. You might even think it's a rude opinion. You definitely think it's a wrong opinion. Got it. And you know what? You could actually be right. But what you've then done is said that should be prosecuted as a crime instead of debated. And so that's why I'm surprised that you are having me on, because who knows? Maybe you think disagreeing with you is a hate crime.
No, it's not. Look, it's not about me.
You gotta be for free speech.
Let me have a chance here, Ezra.
You've had an hour to defame me. You didn't even invite me on the show, John.
Well, because
that shows your ideas are brittle. That's why you want to censor anyone who contradicts.
I don't want to censor anybody, except when it
you
crosses
want me prosecuted.
I don't want to censor anybody, except.
Okay, why don't you finish and then I'll have a word, okay?
I know. You know why you want me prosecuted, John? You know what? I think you're being very dramatic the last hour, and I think I know why. And I'd love your answer to this.
That me and the 10 people I've had on roundtables this morning who agree with me, by the way, all of them to a person.
Well, gee, it's almost like you've invited your own echo chamber in. But John, here's my question to you. For 8 months now, Toronto has had a crime wave of anti-Semitic violence, including a girls' school that was shot up by masked men, people, masked Hamas supporters going through Jewish neighborhoods, shrieking anti-Semitism, roads into residential
and I've
areas,
talked about it here 100 times, Ezra. I've talked about all those examples and how unacceptable that is.
Prosecution of hate crimes against them.
Oh, absolutely, we've talked about it, and the police have been investigating all of those things, Ezra, and you know that.
No, the police have turned a blind eye to them.
That's rubbish.
That's Ezra. Dude's got cojones. What else was there? Let me see here. What's going on in the chat? I've been summoned that it might be time for food. Let me see something here. Hold on. Go to share screen. There was one other thing that I wanted. Oh yeah, we're gonna. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness! How did I forget this about General Hayden, the guy who just blocked me now? Maybe I should be scared. This is the guy who just blocked me, joking about wanting to put Ed Snowden on a kill list. Listen to this.
Lots of things to comment on. Let me talk about the European award and his nomination. I must admit, in my darker moments over the past several months, I had also thought of nominating Mr. Snowden, but it was for a different list. Okay.
Okay. Look at these guys.
I can help you with that.
Weak men with big power. They're laughing.
Oh, there's cameras here too. I forgot about that.
Lots of things to comment on. Let me talk about the European award and his nomination. I must admit, in my darker moments over the past several months.
All right, I'm saving the last thing for I'm saving the. What do I have in the backdrop here? I'm saving something for I'm saving something for our locals exclusive after party. Everybody, Sunday night's gonna be a show. I might, or what a creep. No, it's crazy. Oh, we'll see. We have some Trump derangement syndrome in the chat on YouTube. Let me make sure that everything is being kept up to speed on YouTube. I've gone the whole time with this. I'm going to end this on Rumble. I'm going to end this everywhere except for locals after party. Okay, so we're looking good on YouTube here, and we're on Twitter. Are we on Twitter as well? We should be. Rumble Studio is amazing. Good. Look at this. Here we go. I hate the fact that they show aggregate views and not live viewers. Like I think. Okay, it doesn't matter. We did good here, people. Let's Viva Barnes. Let me open up the window in the backdrop so I can get to this and chat with you in a bit. Sunday night show is going to be amazing. Tomorrow, I think we've got another 14 hours of driving. Maybe not that much. Maybe like 10 to 14 hours of driving. Maybe 10 to 12 hours of driving. So it's going to be a big day tomorrow. Let me just get some chat here. Can't burn a pride flag. Hate crime. Yep. No, you can burn an American flag. You can. You know, the church arsons go unsolved, but my goodness, they'll find the man who put screech marks on the road. The new layout is quite frustrating, says, I don't know if that's about YouTubers. Have a great weekend, y'all, says Jeannie Cavender. Thank you very much. 14 hours, holy cow. It might be 12. I mean, it's all day. Like, we're getting up 6. We're going to be on the road. It's going to be amazing. Later, folks, says Sad Wings Raging. Viva, don't get gulagged. Oh, I don't know. Have I put out is calling someone Jugmeat Singh a mother effer? Is that a hate crime too? Safe travels, Viva Bev 0224. Thank you very much. Where are you going, Viva Victoria? Maureen, no, I'm going back to Montreal, but we're stopping somewhere on the way. So I am confused how the viewership works on Rumble. On Rumble, it's a live view count. It's on Twitter that they think they're like, encouraging people by giving them the views aggregate, not the live viewers. On Rumble right now, it says we have 2,500. We got 1,000 on YouTube, and we got 171 on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. So everybody, get your butts on over to Viva Barnes Law. I think it gives you the option to. Sorry for the short notice. Thank you all for joining. I mean, this is a while that you can get a 12-minute notice stream up and running. And I was able to put things together in time. VivaBarnesLaw.locals.com. The one thing they need to add to Rumble Studio is the ability to chat. That is still not yet there, and that is going to be very good when they get that. Let me go to the chat in Rumble and just make sure everybody's got the link for VivaBarnesLaw.locals.com. There it is, people. And we're going to end it and we're going to go take the party on over to Locals, and then I'm going to have a martini. The joke, funny thing, I was going to have a martini while I did the car vlog stream, but knowing the law, you can't actually have a car running with the keys in the car with an alcoholic beverage, at least in Canada, because that could be and would be misconstrued as drinking with the intent to drive. There was a case about a guy who got drunk and wanted to sleep in his car. So it was in the winter, he turned the car on, slept in the passenger side with the keys in the car, and I think he got charged. So I was going to do that as a funny, a funny thing, but I was like, that would be bad. Don't even drink in a car. As a joke. So now what we're doing here, people, see you Sunday. If I don't see you earlier tomorrow, going to be a big banger of a show. Booyah. Thank you all for being here. Viva Fry. If you want to get some merch on the merch store, we got those stickers too. Viva Fry, vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Best community ever. Locals, we're coming over for our exclusive after party. 10 minutes, rapid fire. And we're going to do it. Ending the stream. Thank you all very much. And share, snip, clip, spread the word. I will see you all Sunday, no later. Peace.